Hi, this is Robert with www.libertasia.com. Today's video is going to be on the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman media race baiting psychological operation. So let's get right to it. Here we see Chris Matthews, who decided to speak for all white people and apologize for racism. So Chris Matthews is apologizing for all white people on the part of our racism. Here we have a professor of sociology that says more white kids need to die in order for white people to understand racism. Okay, he's a professor of sociology, so maybe he should know that blacks are estimated to be 39 times more likely to commit violent crime against white people than white people are to commit violent crime against blacks, and 136 times more likely to commit robbery. Black on white rape is 115 times more likely to occur than the reverse. Okay, so we got between 39 and 136 times more likely that a black person commits a crime on a white person than that a white person commits a crime on a black person. So, but white people are supposed to apologize, and evidently more white children need to die until we understand our racism. So does that mean that blacks need to be 1,000 times more likely to commit crime on whites until finally it's enough? 10,000 times more likely to commit crime on whites until finally it's enough? Here's Larry Elders. He said, half the murders in this country are committed by black people, even though black people are 12% of the population, which means 6% of the population is committing almost half the murders. When you take out the old and young black people and the females and just look at the males, you're looking at 3% of the population of America that's committing 50% of the murders. So that's why people profile, is what he's saying. Let's look at another statistic. Here's the number of homicides per 100,000. Whites, 3.5 homicides per 100,000. Blacks, between about 20 and 30. But if you look more closely, you see that blacks are net killers, meaning they kill more than are blacks killed, which means they're killing other races. In fact, they kill more than they're killed by more than the total amount that white people kill. Looks like they kill more by about 5 per 100,000, but white people kill only by 3.5 per 100,000. So blacks are net killers by more than what white people even kill in total. But white people need to apologize, and more white children need to die before we understand our racism, according to the professor of sociology, doesn't matter his name, and according to Chris Matthews. But if we look at statistics, we also find that there's one person killed every hour from a homicide. So if you're a bigot in the mainstream media and you're wanting to create a media hysteria event, a race-baiting event, in order to control people towards a certain agenda, how many hours do you have to wait before you get a good racist murder? Because if you think about murders, most murders, they're accompanied by lots of bad things, like racism and what have you. And even though it's quite rare for a white person to kill a black person, there still might be one a day or one a week that happens, and it wouldn't take many weeks before you had a good racist white-on-black murder that you could go on about 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. Okay? And it would be easy enough to leave out all the black-on-white murders if it didn't fit your agenda. Okay? And in fact, and this kind of cuts out the photos, and that's okay, because I don't want to over-sensationalize this. I don't want to become too much like the media. But there's just like some unbelievably tragic, because I have a friend, he said, oh, but people watched it. It's not the media's fault. People wanted to watch it. Yeah, but there's lots of other things that people would have watched. If they'd have put these gang members killing a white mother of 4 inside a bakery, people would have watched that. If they would have put this thing of some black male attempting to rape this elderly lady, people would have watched that, and so on. There's lots of really emotionally heart-wrenching stories of black people killing whites, and some of them are racist. Okay? So let's go back to Chris Matthews, because Chris Matthews, it turns out, is a defender of Planned Parenthood. Now that might seem unrelated, but let's just look at what Planned Parenthood is involved in. Planned Parenthood, if I can find the quote here, is here we go. Planned Parenthood. 80% of Planned Parenthood clinics are in minority neighborhoods. And in fact, blacks are only responsible for 17% of live births. But 36% of abortions. Okay, so even though they're only they're 12% of the population basically, but they're 36% of the abortions. And I would suspect, if you did some analysis, it's white abortion doctors that are aborting black babies, and it's Chris Matthews that's advocating it. So maybe in a sense, the professor of sociology, well, maybe Chris Matthews himself is right. Maybe we should apologize, okay, about the black people, for the black people and our racism. Okay? Maybe we should apologize to the black people about our racism. Because in fact, you've got racist white crackers like Chris Matthews, bigot media shills that are sitting there advocating the killing of millions of black babies. So maybe we should apologize. Maybe we should apologize. I hereby apologize on behalf of all white people for racist media bigot shills like Chris Matthews, who are responsible for the abortions of millions of black children every year. I hereby apologize. All right. I think that's enough. Thank you.